his last days. I could make only one film, so I have one part of his life in the film. Having said that, I think हमारा सबका नजरिया ये था कि this is a life we want to celebrate. We don't want to be sympathizing with him because there is a lot more to him. उनकी ज़िंदगी में ऐसे बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं जिनको आप सेलिब्रेट कर सकते हैं, ना कि आपको अफसोस करना। अफसोस करने वाली कुछ ही शायद चीज़ें होंगी। तो हमको हमारा नज़रिया सही रखना है कि हमको उनकी ज़िंदगी को सेलिब्रेट करना है कि उनकी ज़िंदगी के कुछ हादसों को पर अफसोस करना है। वी हैव डिसाइडेड टू सेलिब्रेट हिज लाइफ विद सैम बहादुर।
विकी, आपसे जानना चाहूँगी, जो कि हम लोग बात कर रहे थे नई जनरेशन, बात कर रहे थे कि अगर मौका मिला तो आप शायद आर्मी ज्वाइन कर लेते। अग्निवीर जो कि आज के समय में बहुत यंग जनरेशन को मौका देता है, 12th के बाद आप जाके इंडियन आर्मी ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं। आपका खुद का पर्सनल क्या सोच है, क्योंकि आप ऐसे कई सारे रोल निभा चुके हैं?
See, the thing is that I feel is apt for another forum because it's a political discussion. So I would like to stick it to the film right now and to the man, the legend that we have, Sam Manekshaw, because I would love to answer this question because that's my personal take, and I would do that when I'm having a personal interview with you, which is not related to Sam Manekshaw.
Megha, hi. Vicky, lovely teaser, no doubt about it. Megha, when you're making a film on a person like Sam Bahadur, you are taking, of course, the anecdotes and incidents from his real life. When you portray a real life character, where do you draw the line? Are there any challenges you face that where you know that you have to stop and then resume telling the life story?
It depends on the life and it depends on your intention. What is it that you're trying to do exactly? For a life like Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw, we have tried to put out everything that we could because his life is so full and large and actually cinematic that I feel that हम और भी कर सकते थे, but I had a duration limit कि इतने घंटे में फिल्म खत्म करनी है. Otherwise we could have gone on a little longer, but I think the only place where I would even think of a line is when it comes to the dignity of the character that you're portraying. That cannot be compromised. No matter what incident you are portraying of his life or her life, and this I would think would apply to any real life incident or character, that the dignity of the incident or the person that you are talking about cannot be compromised. And that comes from the intention of making the film. Why are you making the film? Right? So, yeah.
Vicky, to your right, Justin here from Indian Express.
Hi, Justin.
Hi. Vicky, two quick questions. I don't think it has happened before that you have a film coming out on that Friday, and the next week we have Katrina's film also hitting the big screen. What are the conversations like back home?
What are the conversations like that?
Yeah.
Back home. Nahi, she's excited for my film and I'm excited for her film. And she's not just got one film after my film, she's got one film 2 weeks before my film also. So I'm sandwiched between her films, which is a great spot to be in.
Also, I mean, Ronnie did mention about the clash and that it doesn't really matter, but as an actor, how are you looking at that Friday? Because the last time you and Ranbir were together, the dynamic was very different in Sanju. What's that Friday going to be like for you?
I think that Friday, eventually, we both are gonna hand over our films to the audience. So that Friday is gonna be the audience's, day more than our day. But I think, like Ronnie very correctly put out, today in today's time, especially, we as an industry should give the option of multiple films on the same day to the audience. That's how we're gonna flourish as an industry. We have, those many weeks in a year. But as an industry, we can't limit ourselves to making those many films in a year. We have to make multiple films, and we will have multiple releases on the same day. And we got to build an atmosphere where multiple films can work together. We have that strength in the audience. We have that strength on an exhibitor level. So why not? And I think we need to kind of push that envelope also now. And with today's given scenario, with the excitement that the audience has, I think if they resonate with two films, if both the films are good, both the films can work. So I'm like as excited for Animal as anybody else, and so it's I think as long as it's a great day for the audiences, that's whom we work for them, not for each other.
Hi.
Hi,
Mayur here from Beyond Bollywood. Right.
Sure.
My question is for Meghna and Vicky. अगर आप भी उस पर जवाब देंगे तो बहुत अच्छा होगा. Meghna, in my limited interaction with army officers, always I get the sense that when you speak to them and you have to talk about successful operations, the tone is always about they will never talk about individuals but always about the regiment and the force as a whole. But obviously as a filmmaker and Vicky, for you as an actor, कि जब आप चाहे वो सैम बहादुर हो या फिर विक्रम बत्रा हो, so obviously when a director or a writer writes this film or when an actor acts in this film, do you have to also have to ensure that the screenplay or the performance doesn't end up being a one-man army show?
I think we have a bit of both in this because we are covering 4 decades of his life in uniform, and naturally, he did not start off as a one man army show. When he started his military career, he was part of a regiment and he grew and he became, and then he went into a commanding role. By the time he was at the end of his career, he was the chief of army staff, which is a singular role. So when I have to depict that part of his life, it is about the singular Sam Manekshaw. When I have to depict the earlier part of his life, it is Sam Manekshaw as part of a regiment. So we've actually had the privilege of being able to do both.
Yeah, if I can just add there, sorry, because actually this is the only line in the whole movie in that when he says there'll be no more withdrawal, Sam is here. I think it's the only singular time when he said that. Otherwise, whenever he's talking to, it's always my regiment, my people, we want to win, and whatever else. So I think there's a very holistic sense in the movie where it is true that in the armed forces, it is about your entire group and not about any one person.
My answer would be the same as given by Ronnie sir and Meghna, but as an actor, if I say when I approach a character, when that particular scene comes, I am not portraying Sam Manekshaw as 5-star General Sam Manekshaw. I'm portraying as the human Sam Manekshaw. I'm trying to understand him as a human being who's wearing the Indian Army uniform and doing what needs to be done in that particular scene. So what happens eventually in the context of the film, that is decided by the director and the script that you're given. So my approach as an actor is always to understand him as a human being in the decisions he took in whatever he decides to do in that particular scene.
Hi, Ashish here from Bollywood now. My question is for Fatima. Fatima, various characters have previously played Honorable Indira Gandhi ji. What was your inspiration and takeaway from this particular space?
मैंने बाकियों का अपना काम अपने काम को बाकियों के वे ऑफ परफॉर्मिंग से कंपेयर नहीं किया बिकॉज आई हैड टू बी ट्रू टू व्हाट मेघना's vision is, and as an actor I try to do that. I want to be my director's favorite actor, and जो लिखा है और उसकी जो ऑनेस्टी है और किस तरीके से उसको निभाना है वो ऑलरेडी पेपर में होता है और वो डायरेक्टर का विजन होता है. And I just tried to do that, and I hope I was fine, and I did okay.
Vicky, one compliment for you that you and uniform are the perfect combinations all together.
That was very true.
Thank you so much. Means a lot to me. Thank you.
Straight. Hi. Good afternoon. I'm Vijay Lakshmi. My question is to both the lovely ladies, Fatima and Samya. As we have discussed.
Meghna's also lovely, huh?
Of course. I meant.
I'm just kidding. Sorry.
So my question for both the ladies is: firstly, congratulations on the 7-year-long journey. It's been very momentous, I'm sure, for both of you. Given the fact that in these 7 years alone, we have seen so many new faces emerge, and for actresses especially, the space is always very competitive. As two young actresses in your own right, is there the pressure of qualitative work versus quantitative work?
There is no competition. At least for me personally, I'm living my dream, and if I add competition in between of this, I won't enjoy the fact that I'm an actor. I'm getting to do what I have always dreamt of doing. This is my childhood dream to become an actor. अगर मैं सोचूंगी कि यार वो दूसरा क्या कर रहा है, instead of getting inspired and motivated what other actresses are doing, then I would not enjoy my journey as an actor. Yeah, और जितने actors होंगे जो बहुत अच्छे हैं, तो you also want to be as good or better than them. So I think it's good to have competition, and it's good to have more actors who are really good because it inspires you. And मतलब सिर्फ औरतों के साथ नहीं होता, इवन मेल एक्टर्स के साथ बहुत सारे लोग आते हैं, बहुत न्यू कमर्स आते हैं. Everybody wants to be a part of this world, and even I do, and I'm very excited that at least I'm getting to do the kind of work that I want to do. So I'm just happy. I feel lucky.
If I can just
Yeah.
continue my
Hello.
question.
Meghna ma'am. Yeah. 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 Yeah, Meghna ma'am, I consider.
Just one moment. Just one moment. She's been waiting for a while. Just one moment. मेघना जी, जस्ट अगर इस फिल्म की टीजर की बात करें तो आपने विक्की के टैलेंट को तो हम जानते हैं कि वो उसने बहुत हद तक मानिक शाह को उनको जिया है फिल्म में, लेकिन जो 71 का वॉर था और बांग्लादेश की बात थी, तो उसमें उनका सिर्फ ये जो आपने जो दिखाया कि उनका शौर्य, बहुत वीर थे, बहुत धाकड़ थे, बहुत स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड थे कि इंदिरा जी को भी ऐसा सुना दिया उन्होंने, लेकिन जो वो वॉर जीती थी वो उन्होंने अपने इंटेलिजेंस से और अपने प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड उससे जीती थी। तो वो जो इंटेलिजेंस है, जो उनकी उनकी जो कमांड थी, वो भी इसमें दिखाई है कि सिर्फ उनकी वीरता और देखिए, मैं एक तो ये नहीं समझती कि जो हमने वॉर जीती वो किसी एक इंसान का श्रेय है। उसमें हमारी तीनों डिफेंस फोर्सेस ने बहुत ही दिग्गज काम किया और बहुत ही मतलब ब्रेवरी से सब कुछ किया। There's नहीं, strategy his is for the army, the navy was also there and the air force was also there. So I would not say that yes, he was a very big part of it, but I would not say he is solely responsible for it. That's my personal belief. Having said that, उनकी मिलिट्री लाइफ वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 से लेके 1971 वॉर तक थी, तो हमने वो सभी कुछ जहाँ जो उनके रोल्स थे इन सारी चीज़ों में, इन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स में एंड इन बिटवीन एज वेल एज पार्ट ऑफ हिज मिलिट्री करियर, वीव शोन ऑल ऑफ दैट एज मच एज वी कुड विद इन द टाइम फ्रेम जो हमारे पास था इसे दिखाने के लिए। अब स्पेसिफिक स्ट्रैटेजाइजेशन थोड़ा सा मुश्किल हो जाता है क्योंकि बहुत ही ह्यूमंगस स्केल था वॉर का, 2 फ्रंट्स पे छिड़ी थी। सो मतलब हमने कोशिश की है, बाकी आप देख लीजिए। लेकिन जो जैसा कि आपने कहा है कि वो आज़ादी के पहले भी आर्मी में थे और उस वक्त राय बहादुर का खिताब भी कुछ जो स्वतंत्रता सेनानी हैं उनको नहीं भाता था, क्योंकि उनको ऐसा लगता था कि ये अंग्रेज़ों ने दिया है। तो क्या हम जानते हैं कि हमारे ये कितने बड़े रहे हैं फील्ड मार्शल, लेकिन क्या कभी उनके उसमें कुछ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट आया था? क्योंकि उस समय अंग्रेज़ों की सरकार थी जब। नहीं, तो सैम बहादुर का खिताब उनको इंडिपेंडेंस से पहले नहीं, उसके बाद में। नहीं, वो तो बाद में मिला है, लेकिन उन ज़माने में जब वो उन्होंने स्टार्ट किया था तब अंग्रेज़ों की सरकार थी। तो क्या कभी कोई कॉन्फ्लिक्ट आया था कुछ ऐसा? देखिए, वो ही वाज अ सोल्जर फॉर द आर्मी। अब वो आर्मी ब्रिटिश इंडिया की आर्मी है कि इंडिया की आर्मी है, उनकी लॉयल्टी आर्मी की तरफ हमेशा थी और हमेशा ही रही।
Yeah, hello, Meghna ma'am. I must share with pride and honor. I had the opportunity to meet Sam Bahadur not less than 15 times. And even when I was in school, I did a military summer course where Sam Bahadur was invited as the chief guest. This was immediately after he got his field marshal. And why I'm speaking to you is he had a fabulous sense of witty humor. You know, he told us that it is humor which keeps us going, during the war crisis. And every fourth sentence, people were laughing. It is like how you have a stand-up comedy. Na? He had a fantastic sense of humor. Even otherwise, after I met him, I will tell you personally what all he shared with me. But I just wanted to check whether this aspect of Bahadur has been, used in the movie.
Has it?
Like you rightly pointed out, sir, without, it was a very integral part of his personality, the humor that you're talking about. And there are many moments in the film which depict that side of him. And we've tried to do our best to depict that kind of humor. And we were also very well aware of, this side. But we've done our best. But yes, to answer your question, yes, all of that is there in the film.
another thing was he was very candid and very outspoken, you know.
Yeah, a little too candid.
You know, which was really
Yes, all of that is there in the
yeah,
film.
so he used to always say, I hope I have not said anything controversial.
Vicky sir, my question to you now.
Hi, sir.
So you have been getting yourself molded very well, whatever you play. So now you're doing a Parsi's role and you're saying next to Parsi. So I just want to know that how you got molded because Parsis are short temper as you know that.
Are you Ronnie?
So, the character and the body language of Meghna ma'am showed, like, you saw that it's really very good. Really, you had got the right track of Parsis and you have done that thing. So, how difficult or how easy was it? Have you taken any kind of lessons for that?
I just hope that after this film releases, I'm like, I get like like a special pass into the Parsi community. That you're one of ours. But I mean, I don't know how to answer that question based on like him being a Parsi, but like I said, like I only try to understand him as a human being and all aspects regarding him as a human being and as a person. Um, but yeah, but I like
There's also
my
a line in the movie, which we won't talk about,
yes,
right?
we won't talk about. I can, na? Thoda de do kya, teaser?
Actually, also, let's come from the fact that we also must be aware that the way Parsis have been historically depicted in our films, they're not always like that. And Sam Manekshaw was not like that either. Right? So he has been more of what Sam Manekshaw really is. We have also caricaturized Parsis in our films historically. We've done that, which is not what you will see here. So if you're expecting that, you're going to be disappointed.
There's no dada mein duane ka doodh.
I wanted to ask firstly, Meghna and Vicky. You worked with him in Razi, where he had a smaller role compared to Alia, who was the main person. So, did you see Sam Bahadur already in him when you were working in Razi? Because just you had started in 2016. What?
No, I didn't. The reason was that I didn't have my script at that time. We were only into research, and I started seeing an actor only once I had the script. And once I had the script, that's what happened.
And have you seen any kind of growth, change in him since Razi, from Razi to
I have
Sam
seen in
Bahadur?
front of him only.
हाँ बोल दो ना please क्या करें
So, I mean, the joke he makes is that राजी में मुझे एक डायलॉग नहीं दिया था. पूरी पूरी फिल्म खामोशी में करवाई है. आपने राजी और उसके आगे की 3 फिल्मों का चुकता कर लिया है सैम ने. इतना बुलवाया है मुझसे. So, no, I mean, I think the pleasure of directing him, the privilege of directing him and having him interpret your character, I think it has just compounded manifold from Razi to now, and I know that it's just going to keep rising exponentially because that's the kind of actor he is. It comes from the person that he is.
And Vicky, what about you? Your journey from Razi to Sam Bahadur, and you're working with Meghna.
I think for me, what happened during Razi was that there's a certain kind of blind trust that just organically happened, where I'm being completely honest and not just saying it for the sake of it, but I really blindly trust him. Like there's just blind trust in the approach he has towards a story, towards a character. And there was a question asked earlier that do you sense a difference between a male director and a female director? She's probably the only female director I've worked with, and I sense a difference. Yes, because there's a line which they say that men written by women. I feel that when I'm working with her, with the sensitivity with which she treats her male characters, there's a dignity, there's a sensitivity, and there's a gravitas which I just find very, very special in the writing and in the way she directs me also on that particular day. I sense it in the little gestures, in the little things that makes she says कि यार नहीं इसको ऐसे बोलो या इसको ऐसे कर लो. I get to learn so much that what, this is heroic. What a male thinks that this is heroic is not actually heroic. It's when I see it from a woman's perspective that okay, this is actually heroic, and that is something that I learned as a person, and that is my, like, the biggest thing that I take away from working with Meghna is I get to be a better man whenever I work with her through her characters. So I got to learn a lot from Iqbal Sayyid in Razi. I got to learn a lot from Sam Manekshaw, and I'm really looking forward to learning a lot in our journey ahead.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, one last question.
I can talk about
Just one last. एक आखिरी. Yes, sir. One last question.
हाय विकी, रवि फ्रॉम इंटरव्यू।
Hi, sir.
मेघना मैम, आपके लिए भी एक सवाल है। विकी, जब इस तरह की कोई फिल्म बनती है जो हिस्टोरिकल कैरेक्टर होता है और इस दुनिया में नहीं होता है, तो ऑब्वियसली जो लिखा जाता है, जो रिसर्च की जाती है, उसके आधार पे वो कैरेक्टर निभाया जाता है। लेकिन फिर भी एक एक्टर को अपनी इमेजिनेशन का काफी इस्तेमाल करना पड़ता होगा, क्योंकि वो शख्स सामने नहीं होता है जिससे हम सीख सकें और देख सकें उसे। तो उस लिहाज से इस किरदार को निभाना आपके लिए कितना मुश्किल था?
थैंक यू फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन। आई थिंक मेरे लिए सबसे ट्रिकी पार्ट ये था कि मानेकशॉ सर के जितने इंटरव्यूज हैं ऑनलाइन अवेलेबल, वो सारे इंटरव्यूज हैं व्हेन ही वाज पास्ट 70, व्हेन ही वाज रिटायर्ड, एंड मुझे कई बार जब उनका यूथ प्ले करना था या उनके द मिड इयर्स प्ले करने थे, उसका रेफरेंस कोई नहीं है मेरे पास कि वो कैसे बात करते थे या कैसे चलते थे। देयर आर मेनी पिक्चर्स और कुछ वीडियोस हैं डॉक्यूमेंटेड ऑफ हिम वॉकिंग, बट ऑल हिज इंटरव्यूज वेयर यू गेट टू हियर हिम स्पीक is all when he was 70, 75, 80. तो to crack that कि यार ये अपनी जवानी में कैसे बात करते होंगे, we met his family a lot of times, his grandson a lot of times, we sat on the text a lot of times कि कैसे बात करते होंगे, क्या उनकी चाल होगी, क्या बॉडी लैंग्वेज होगी, all of that, और वो करने में मज़ा बड़ा आया। The process was very very stimulating for me as an actor. तो हमने अपनी तरफ से पूरी कोशिश की है, बट दैट वाज द ट्रिकी पार्ट फॉर मी बिकॉज द रेफरेंस वाज देयर बट आल्सो वाज नॉट देयर फॉर यू। इट वाज समथिंग दैट वी हैड टू डिकोड कि हाँ यार अपनी जवानी में ये ऐसे बात करते होंगे या ऐसे चलते होंगे। सो हर कैरेक्टर का एक अपना अपने चैलेंजेस होते हैं, बट सैम में आई थिंक टू क्रैक दैट, द टोनैलिटी ऑफ द वॉइस एंड द बॉडी लैंग्वेज एंड द फिजिकलिटी वाज आई थिंक द नंबर वन स्टेज दैट वी वर ट्राइंग टू क्रैक।
मेघना मैम, इसी से जुड़ा आपसे भी एक सवाल है। एक हिस्टोरिकल फिल्म में, हॉलीवुड में भी ऐसी कई फिल्में बनती हैं, भले ही हिस्टोरिकल हिस्ट्री से रिलेटेड फिल्में हो, लेकिन उसमें क्रिएटिव लिबर्टीज बहुत ली जाती हैं। यहाँ भी ऐसी फिल्में बनी हैं। आपने क्या इस फिल्म में कहीं वो स्कोप था कि आप क्रिएटिव लिबर्टी लें, कुछ अपनी तरफ से ऐड करें ताकि सिनेमैटिकली और इंटरेस्टिंग फिल्म बने?
जहाँ तक हिस्टोरिकल फैक्ट्स हैं, वहाँ पे जो कुछ हमारे पास रिसर्च बेस्ड डेटा में था, हमने उसी को निभाया है। उसमें हमने लिबर्टीज़ नहीं लिए क्योंकि आई डोंट थिंक यू शुड बी ट्वीकिंग हिस्ट्री, ये मेरा मानना है। लेकिन सैम किसी शाम घर पे अपनी वाइफ सिल्लू से किस तरह बात करते होंगे या उन्होंने क्या कहा होगा उनको, वी हैड टू इमेजिन दैट एंड येट अंडरस्टैंड इट विथ फ्रॉम द फैमिली, फ्रॉम देयर डॉटर्स की उनकी रिलेशनशिप क्या थी, हाउ वाज शी इन द हाउस, व्हाट वुड दे टॉक अबाउट और हाउ वुड दे बी विथ ईच अदर। We had those pointers and then हमको वो scenes imagine करने पड़े। I think creative imagination उस दायरे तक ही था। जहाँ तक history का सवाल है, we try to remain as faithful as possible to it, because that's not something that should be distorted.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your question.